The spin to win whirlwind gameplay is a classic in RPG games. It brings back fond memories of the barbarian in Diablo 2 spinning around and cutting your way through hordes of enemies. With the new artifact Tempest Fury, we get a new world version of the classic. For this build, we are focusing on a DPS PvE role. It may come as no surprise, but to start things off, we have the Great Axe artifact, Tempest Fury. Tempest Fury's unique perk, Endless Spin, extends the spins on Whirlwind up to 12 times, and removes the requirement to hit a target to continue the spin. This is a key perk that makes the build. Almost endlessly spinning around packs of enemies is a lot of fun. Tempest Fury's second unique perk, Momentum, provides a movement buff upon attack. This effect works during Whirlwind, allowing you to move around fast, spinning to your heart's content. Tempest Fury comes with the perks Refreshing Move and Fortifying Whirlwind. Fortifying Whirlwind provides Fortify and a slash damage buff per hit of Whirlwind and stacks up to 5 times. Given that we will mainly be using Whirlwind against groups of enemies, this gets to the max 5 stacks almost instantly, providing both survivability and damage. For the final perk, we have added Thwarting Strikes. This boosts our damage whilst we have Grip, which Whirlwind comes with. For our second weapon, we will be using a Spear. For the perks, we are using Enfeebling Skewer, Vicious, and Keenly Empowered. Enfeebling Skewer causes Skewer to apply a massive 47% weaken. This is huge. Having someone using a spear with this perk is almost mandatory for most M3 groups. For our armor, we are in a light equip load. For our helm, chest and boots, we are using Health, Enchanted Ward and Refreshing. For our gloves, we are using Enchanted Ward, Refreshing and Thrust Conditioning. For our legs, we are using Attuned Leather Pants. This comes with Refreshing and Elemental Aversion, and for the final perk, we have added Health. This gives us 4 health, 4 Enchanted Ward and 5 Refreshing. This actually puts us over the Refreshing cap of 4, so one of the Refreshing perks can be changed. This should probably be changed to Enfeebling Maelstrom. For our amulet, we are using Health and an Element Protection perk that matches the element of the mutation we are doing. For the ring, we are using Hearty, Slash Damage and Legion. Whilst this doesn't boost our spear, we want to get the max damage out of Tempest Fury. For the earring, we are using Refreshing Toast, Nimble and Healing Heart. For the attributes, we are using 350 Strength, 228 Dex, 25 Int, 25 Focus and 50 Con. 350 Strength gives us high damage on both weapons, whilst avoiding the more severe diminishing returns of going past 350. 350 Strength gives us the attribute threshold bonus of plus 10% base damage to all abilities. As a spear scales with both strength and dex, we put 228 points into dex to boost its damage. 25 int provides plus 5% damage to crits, and 25 focus reduces cooldowns by 5%. Thanks to Attuned Leather Pants, we only needed 10 attribute points in each. 50 Con provides us with plus 10% to physical armor. As we are in a DPS role, a low amount of Con is usually expected. For our skills, on the Great Axe we are using Whirlwind, Maelstrom and Gravity Well. Maelstrom and Gravity Well are both used to help clump the enemies together, allowing the team to attack all enemies at once. Whirlwind is the key skill to the build, providing AoE damage, movement, and spin to win fun. The base skill of Whirlwind actually only does 50% weapon damage. Upgrading the skill all the way, however, unlocks the key upgrade of Surrounded. This states that if you have 3 or more enemies around you, the weapon damage is increased by 15% per enemy, capped at 5 enemies. This means with 3 enemies, we will be doing 95% damage, and at the max of 5, we will be doing 125% damage. Our aim is to group enemies together using Gravwell and Maelstrom, and then hit them all at once using Whirlwind to maximize damage. Without the bonus damage from the Surrounded upgrade, Whirlwind damage is relatively low, so it's generally not good for single targets or bosses. For single targets, we will mainly be using the Spear. For our skills on the Spear, we are using Sweep, Perforate, and Skewer. Sweep provides knockdown and damage, Perforate provides damage, rend, and weaken, and Skewer provides damage, bleed, weaken, and empower. Let's now take a look at some of the pros and the cons of the build. Starting off with the pros. Strong versus groups of enemies. With Whirlwind gaining more damage when surrounded by enemies, this build is good against groups of enemies. Strong debuffs. Through use of the Spear, this build applies high weaken and rend. Movement. Whirlwind also serves as a great movement skill. It provides grip and high speed movement, allowing you to get past packs of enemies if needed. Spin to win fun. This build gives the classic spin to win gameplay that is always a fun time. Now let's take a look at some of the cons of the build. Low survivability. As with most DPS builds, as we are using low con and light armor, we have low survivability. Single target damage. Whilst using the Spear provides good single target damage, the temptation to use Whirlwind may be too strong and could result in a DPS loss.
I am forsaken.
That's it for the video. If you've got any questions about the build, drop a comment below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.